Hello my friends, it is Monday, our weekly time and place where we sit down and chat a little bit about cross stitch. I am a bit later in the day than usual with my filming. I had some appointment I needed to go to in the morning, so it is now midday. Today's the 6th of I was gonna say August, but it's not August, it's October, thankfully. So today is the 6th of October, and yeah, I have quite a bit to share. I have been quite busy stitchy-wise in the past week. As you can see, I am in my cozy sweater. It's getting cold. Autumn is in full-on blast here, which I very much like. I am not a summer person. You might have heard if you're a returning viewer. If you're new, I am Sen, welcome. This is my little place on the YouTubes for everything cross stitch, and yeah, I share weekly updates of what I've been up to with my stitching, some, well, from time to time maybe some design updates, because I'm also like a cross stitch designer, and yeah, which is where we will start. I decided to put this on the beginning of the video this time so that nobody misses it. Shipping to the US is thankfully back on, so if you are aware of mine, have been lurking in my Etsy shop, you can now get cross stitch kits as well as needle minders. All of the needle minders are now available. They are in limited supply, so because I only have like a few of each of them, so if you want to go and grab some, go ahead and do that while they are available. Same with cross stitch kits. All of them are limited because I will most likely not remake them for reasons I will get into later, because I do not want to waffle too much at the beginning of the video. So, but yeah, that's it. As for cross stitch, I have worked on quite a few patterns projects the past week. I have them all here to the side on my desk. I have a few new starts, as you may have seen in the title, and I will get into those as well. One is just something I picked up on Etsy. The other two are my own patterns that I have started model stitching. So without further ado, let's move down to my desk and see what I've been up to, shall we? Starting with ongoing projects. The first one I worked on is this one, my little heart of gold. Well, it's not little, it's actually a fairly big full coverage. I did move down here in this column. It's actually, and over here, it's actually not too much that I've done with this one, or well, it is a few hundred stitches, but those of you that also stitch full coverage, you know how this is. It doesn't look much unless you put a few thousand stitches into it. So this is where this is at now, and I will show you what it will look like when it is finished in a moment. For those of you that have not seen it or just want to have like a recap, this is what it will look like finished. The artwork is by me, and I am here, up here in the background with this one, coming down on the second tree branch here. So I'm always alternating a little between like moving across and going page by page. I still have not decided for this one, but it got a little bit of love. Moving on, and I don't think you've seen me working on this one at all. I think the last time I showed it was in my VIP parade in the beginning of the year, so I picked this one up and gave it a little bit of love. This is a bottom corner start, so very unusual for me, and I'm a little bit undecided on how to proceed with this, because this is my usual 10 stitch on 28 count, but this is very confetti heavy, so it is very bulky. But for now it's fine. The only thing that I think I will do is probably stitch this doing color complete by page, and not like a royal rose kind of situation where, you know, it gets even more bulky than it already is, especially with so many colors. And if I figure that it's not going to work, I'm most likely going to switch this to 1/1 full cross. So this is where this is at. I worked in just a few threads from here going up here, so you'll probably see in the side by side if I find a before picture. Just a little bit, like one evening stitch on this one. Oh, and of course I forgot again to show you. This is what this will look like when it's finished. So this is also larger, full coverage, and I'm just in the bottom here, making my way up with this beautiful house surrounded by a slightly overgrown garden. So we'll see how that comes along. Also last week I actually managed to do a little bit with my Friday stitch. I have this one closed. At first I was thinking of moving, like working more here, and I did work in a few strands up here in this column because I initially wanted to continue going down, and then I changed my mind and moved back up here to finish the row. So this is where this one's at. I think I did 2 columns of this up here, but I'm not entirely sure. We will see in the before and after, I suppose. So that is this one. Also getting a bit of love, as it should. I can put these one to the side until I need them again. Just fold this back up. And for those of you that have not seen it or don't remember, this is what it will look like now. This pattern is also available in my shop. It's my own artwork, and while it is fairly while it is originally like personal artwork, I think this is like well, neutral enough to, you know, view it as whatever you want to. So that is where this one's at. Which brings us to last week's new starts. First being this one. And I started it, and as you can see, it doesn't have too much done yet. Well, it has quite a bit for a new start. This is, and you can see this is some leaves of a floral arrangement. And I will show you the finished work. This is what it will look like when it is done. It's a pattern I picked up on Etsy also last week, I believe, so this is technically also a haul. This is the name of the Etsy shop, but the link will be in the description as usual. So the colors are a bit more pastel-y than I thought from like the cover picture, but I don't mind. I actually like it the way it looks. Let me show you the color palette. I have them all on here. It is fairly colorful, but it's also, let me unroll it. So this is most of the colors. There's a few darker ones that I have on an extra here thingamajig. What are they called? Thread holder. But yeah, it's a bit more pastel-y than it looks in the picture, but that might also be because I'm stitching it just 1/1 full cross on this fabric that I do believe is probably a 20 count. So that makes the coverage a little bit lighter, so which also makes the stitching probably not as color dense. I don't know how you would call that, but that is what this one looks like, and I really like it. I think it's beautiful, and I don't have anything like this in my whips so far, so that was new. But that is where this one's at. And now we get to models. So first up, and you can see this one was in a hoop, which is very weird for me because I usually do stitch in hand, but with like small pieces of fabric like this, when I'm stitching here in the bottom and I pull my needle, then I have the fabric like flapping around here, whereas my hand and my needle, especially with the soft fabric. So I actually enjoyed using a hoop for this, which I wouldn't have thought. I just hope that I can, when I iron this when I'm done, that the hoop marks will disappear. That's always also something I'm a bit worried about. But onto the pattern. This is a new design that I made last week, and I started this last week. And as you can see, it's already fairly far along. I think I'm already at 70% with it, probably. So this is a mandala, as you can probably see from the looks of it. There's just a little bit left to do over on this side here. This is the middle, and then you have the same motif on every side. And I hope you can see, probably, because I am stitching this in a multicolored floss, just one single multicolored floss. If I pull it around like this, you can probably see it best. These are little squirrels. Look at them, aren't they cute? And this is one of 4 I'm planning to do, like just these little cute single color charted mandala style pattern, autumn patterns. I have 3 others. Those are still just in my brain. I haven't even fully made the design for them yet, but I want to, I'm planning to. And they will be freely available in my Etsy once they're done. So this one will probably be finished this week if I manage, and then be put up. And for the others, I'll see if I just put them up with a mock-up or if I will actually also model stitch them before I put them up. But this one is, well, this one's the first one. Let me get the camera a little bit closer. Now that's better. This is the first one of hopefully 4. We will see. I think if the camera was further away. Oh yeah, like this, the color is better because you see how the color of the fabric changed when I put the camera too close. This is better. And yeah, they are really small, but this is also a very small count. And I'm stitching it also 1/1. And this is the floss I'm using. Just some cheap, unbranded, multicolored floss. And some of it is tone and tone, pretty much, the lightest part of the floss, but I think it still looks fairly visible. But yeah, that is this one, the squirrels. I think I'm gonna name it Acorn Catcher or something, because, you know, there's squirrels, there's acorns here and there and up here, and there's some, these are supposed to be chestnuts. Now you could also just view them as little ornamental pieces, but well, the main focus is obviously, you know, you have the squirrels and the little acorns, and then just some beautiful, like, colorful leaves around, as you have with autumn. The other 3, I am planning one to have like a just colorful foliage, like falling leaves theme, one with pumpkins and one with mushrooms. So I'll stay tuned for those. We'll see when I get them done. So last but not least, in the new starts, this is also a pattern I made, a new design. And like the other one, I do not have like any covers printed out. These are coming along, as you will see them as I work on them. And this is a winter one. I think that's pretty obvious. I got this beautiful opalescent fabric, and I was like, what can I do with this? And then I thought, okay, what am I gonna do for patterns for winter? And for now I'm thinking about this one actually being next month's Patreon pattern. We haven't had like a mandala style in a while. And this is a snowy forest themed one. Like you can already see the outline of the trees. They will be covered in snow. Let me turn this one around. This is the top, but you can also take it as the bottom, because again, mandala works the same from every side. And then the center of this motif, like this is one corner, this is the other corner, so it's not overly large. The center is gonna be all like beautiful snow crystals, and you will probably see more of this next week, because thinking about making this like next month's Patreon chart, I am working on this, like doing a certain number of stitches per day, or more if I manage to get this done by the end of the month. So this will be like a frequent guest in our next few update videos. So, but yeah, that's all the patterns for this week. So let's move back to me. So here we are again. Welcome back. I hope you did like the little update that we had from last week. While I worked on quite a few patterns, I do realize most of them didn't get too much love, because my main focus was on that little autumn pattern that you just saw, the new start, seeing how it is already almost finished despite just being started last week. Also, we have like the cat intervention here again. So, well, he took his time to show up today, but here he is. But yeah, that is the updates and the new starts that I've been working on. As usual, let me know which one's your favorite. I'd really love to hear that. I have some other exciting things I'm working on that will hopefully come soon. And yeah, let me tell you a little bit about that now. If you were just here like for cross-stitch updates, thank you very much for watching. I mean, all of this is cross-stitch related that I'm gonna talk about, but if you were just here for the actual stitching, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please do leave a like and subscribe. That would help me very much, especially if you want to come back and see more future updates. But yeah, other than that, like I mentioned briefly in the beginning of the video, I am slowly moving away from selling physical items. My main reason for that is, and most of you are probably aware because a lot of you are viewing from the US, but it's not just the US. There has been over the past years that I've been running my shop, like mainly my art business. Because if you're like returning viewer, you know I also sell like stationery in my other Etsy shop, and I've been doing that for many years now. And lately, especially for us in the EU, I'm from Germany, we've had a lot of new regulations piling up on us. Like we have our registry for package materials that we need to be registered to, that we need to pay. Then we lately, like that was last winter, we got a new law that that required us to put like our addresses and more detailed product information on everything we sold. Now, well, from what I have heard recently, soon, like starting next year and finalizing in 2030, there will be an additional law and regulation on packaging where you have to put a QR code on packaging, where you as a customer can like scan the QR code, and then the QR code will tell you how to recycle your packaging. Don't get me wrong, like there is a lot of issues with like packaging and stuff, and trash and global warming and all that. And I do appreciate when, you know, governments and such are looking into things, how to make our problems, well, less of a problem. But it is getting a little bit ridiculous for smaller, especially like one-person businesses. For me personally, it's getting to a point where I cannot handle everything on my own. It's just too much regulations, too many laws, too much extra cost. So I am slowly wanting to move to making everything that I do digital, which, especially with cross stitch, it's easy because we mainly like look into digital patterns and everything, like PDFs, because lots of us love our pattern keepers and markups, and I think Saga is the newest thing that everybody is all the rage about. I haven't tried it yet. So we love our PDF patterns, right? And I know we also love our kits and our printed patterns and our needle minders and everything. And I do too. Like, I'm sad to say that I will no longer be making any physical products. I will sell what I have. And I will probably be making some because I have the material for it, and then sell those. But I will not like buy new materials to make new stuff. I have until, same with my art business, I have until 2030 apparently. But who knows what other regulations and laws they will put in place between now and 2030. There has been so much, especially since COVID, and it's just gotten so out of hand, in my personal opinion. And then you have the global situations. We had COVID, we had tariffs, now with the US, right? There is always something. And I just can't handle it. I might change my mind eventually, but at this point, and like, I'm tired and I'm overwhelmed, and I just don't know how to do that as like being just me doing everything. And I'm an artist. I want to focus on the design process and the art and everything around that. So sticking with digital is probably the best option for me. And maybe if anyone is interested, like if you know your local shops that do have the option to like print charts, I am absolutely willing to work together with like local needlework stores that would be willing and able to actually print my PDF patterns and convert them into printed charts and then sell them as printed charts. But me personally, I probably will not do that anymore in the future. But yeah, that being said, as for the needle minders, as excited as I was about them, they are done. They are available. Grab them while they are, if you like them, if you want them, of course. Same with the kids. There will not be, well, there will be, I still have a few needle minder materials. I did not have enough magnets for all of the little wooden thingies that I had made. So once the ones that I have are sold out, there might be 2 or 3 more of each. Not of each, but of some motifs. 2 or 3 more might come back, but I will not order new wooden charms to make into needle minders. Same with the kits. I will not order more fabric or floss to make new kits. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Which also means that I can focus more on actually designing new patterns, which, let's be honest, I'm, as much as I love making kits and everything, and I really do, designing the patterns is my main thing. That's what I enjoy most. That's what I'm most excited about. Same with my art shop. Actually drawing the designs is, well, it has been fallen off the wayside a little bit, and I hope to pick that back up more when I do not spend 80% of my time for production of physical products, which I do. 80 to 90% of my work time, especially for my art shop, is production and paperwork. So the designs have fallen off a little bit. But yeah, so much for current updates. And another thing, a lot more on the positive side, I am still looking into opening my own Discord server. And I will hopefully be able to do that now that I'm done with my main paperworks for the last half year. So I'm a little bit more free this month to do, like, experiment with different stuff. And I've been thinking about opening my own cross-stitch Discord, mainly like for people to share what they're working on in regards of my own patterns. There will probably also be, like, as you know from different Facebook groups, when they have an extra channel or like an extra day where you can share whatever pattern you're working on, so you can hang out and chat. And there will be, like, I will use that as a platform to look for model stitchers. So if that is something you're interested in, I would love to hear it, of course. If you're generally interested in model stitching, yeah, let me know in the comments the way that will work. Obviously, I'm not in a position to pay anyone to model stitch. So the way that will work is you will get the pattern for free. You can stitch it and you can keep it. Like, you can keep your finished work, of course. The only thing I will require of model stitchers is that they are consistent. Like, if you say you want to stitch a model, we will look at how big the model is and then agree on a time frame. And I obviously need to know, like, or to be able to rely on you to finish it in a responsible time frame. Like, if it's a 1000 stitches pattern, I personally would believe it is prudent to say you could finish that in a month. And you would only be able to apply for one pattern at a time to model stitch. And if you finish that, you may apply for another one. And also I would require you to be able to take good photographs of your finished work, like preferably of an FFO of it that you can think of. You can decide how you want to fully finish your work, obviously. I would just need, like, a good picture of it that I can use for my shop, because otherwise why would I need a model stitch? I think that makes sense. So I can make more designs, and I do not need to, like, model stitch all of them myself, because we only have 2 hands and so many hours in a day. We all know that. We all want to stitch all, well, not all of us, but many of us want to stitch all the things. And I also want to stitch different things and not just my personal models. Well, I would stitch everything if I had 1,000,000 years of lifetime and more than 24 hours in the day, and I wouldn't need to sleep. But yeah, I will let you know when that becomes a thing. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I still do have a few projects on the back burner that I have not released yet, like a few patterns, because I was holding back on them since I do not have a model. And at this point, I do prefer having model stitched my patterns before I release them, both for colors and to know how they look like, because obviously stitched models are always better than a mock-up. Well, at least in most cases they are, I feel. And yeah, also I have some older patterns that are already in my shop that I wanted to model stitch myself. And I have started to model stitch myself, but they are still not done yet. So those will probably also be available to pick from. I hope I will be able to manage to do that next week, like over this week, and then tell you next Monday, hi, my Discord's open, feel free to join. So we will see. That is hopefully gonna happen soon. But yeah, that's everything from me for this week. I hope you did enjoy hanging out. I always enjoy filming at this point. I think I'm keeping up well with the weekly updates. And yeah, I hope I see you again next week. Like I said before, if you want to support me and my work, my channel, but don't necessarily can or want to buy something at this point, please do leave a like, so hit the subscribe button if you aren't subscribed already. Leave me a comment, even just a small one. Tell me what's your favorite. Just leave me a little heart emoji in the comments if you don't know anything to comment, because, you know, everything helps. Every little comment feeds the algorithm. So yeah, thank you very much for being here, and see you next week. Bye bye.